Hello, how's it going, everybody? Matt Modi here with OddsJam, here to give you some NFL player props to lock in for Thursday night football. So we have 49ers versus Seahawks, a nice rivalry game we got going on here on Thursday night. So let's lock in some player props. The first one that I'm going to lock in here, I pulled from the OddsJam positive EV page. It's a positive expected value player prop. George Kittle under 41.5 receiving yards. This is at plus 104 at Caesars. So let's chat about it. Number one, what you want to look at here when you are using OddsJam is what the no vig odds you see in this column here are. These can be viewed as the true line of what a market should truly be priced at. Basically, I like to call it the OddsJam perfect line, but this is where everything comes from. These odds are pulled from the sharpest sportsbooks in the world, a weighted average pulled from the sharpest sportsbooks in the world. So that's why we call them the true line, these no vig odds. So anywhere in which you can get more favorable odds on another sportsbook, it's going to be a positive EV play and it's going to be a mathematically profitable betting opportunity to lock in. So in this case, the no vig odds have this at plus 101. Basically, if we want to round up a little bit from plus 100.84, Caesars is giving it to us at plus 104. So right off the bat, you see this gap between these two numbers. That's why there's positive EV. That gives you a EV percent, an expected profit of about 1.57% on this one. But of course, just seeing, like you could look at the no vig odds, the percent and the odds that you're placing the bet in about 4 seconds. So it doesn't really require any research, but I think it's important to understand where that number comes from. The additional research that I recommend doing, so for those of you watching this video, if you are using OddsJam and you're not doing any of this stuff, I definitely recommend doing it. And for those of you who are watching who have not yet signed up for OddsJam, I would recommend just signing up for a free trial. It's completely free, 7 days. You can cancel at any time. And use these strategies talked about in this video, watch other videos that you see on the OddsJam YouTube channel, those strategies that Alex talks about, and you'll be profitable. But for this play, this is what I recommend doing. That you click open a play, and it pulls up where every sportsbook prices this play at. So this plus 104, under 41.5 on Caesars. You want to look at every other sportsbook, and you want to say, hey, is this an outlier, compared to the rest of the books or not? Because if you're betting on an outlier, generally that means you're betting on a mispriced line, which is a profitable betting opportunity. Another way to think about that, like if every other sportsbook, in this case it is, like look at Pinnacle, they have it at minus 115 each way. Bet Online, minus 114 each way. DraftKings and BetMGM also have it at minus 115 each way. And you can ignore Underdog because it's a daily fantasy sports company, so they have the same odds for every play, so you can ignore them. What's the clear outlier here? This plus 104 at Caesars. So if every other sportsbook is telling you, hey, this should be priced around basically even money, like if you look at the sharp ones, which is Pinnacle, Bet Online, and DraftKings specifically for player props, if you look at the sharp ones, they all have it for even money, like minus 115 on the over, minus 115 on the under, basically saying we don't know what's more likely. We don't have an odds that's more likely, so we're just going to make it even money for each one. Minus 115, minus 115. We're not going to favor a side. Same thing with Bet Online, minus 114 each way. They don't know if the over or under is more likely based on their algorithm, so they're going to make it 50-50 each way. Same thing with DraftKings. Well, Caesars is giving it to us for plus money at plus 104. So if this is truly a 50-50 betting opportunity that we are able to lock in at plus 104, that's a profitable bet, right? Because if it wins 50% of the time, we are profiting because we are getting it for plus money. Plus 104 means if we win has a less than 50% win percentage. So all in all, this George Kittle one is really good. And then what you can do for numbers a little bit higher, like receiving yards, it'll work for passing yards as well. So if you view the event page in a new tab, you can see where every other sportsbook is pricing this market at, meaning this receiving yardage total itself. So like not every single book is going to have their receiving yardage at 41.5, right? They might have it differently. Same thing with different odds. Sportsbooks are going to have different ways of pricing stuff. So if we go to player receiving yards, we're looking at George Kittle. We just want to see like where other sports books price it, right? So we're going to George Kittle. So we got it at 41.5. So it looks like we have some books pricing it lower, like PointsBet, but they heavily favor the over at -125. And that's a good sign. So they have it, we see that some sports books have it priced over, some have it priced under. And we're getting it under 41.5, but we're getting it for plus money. So this 41.5 seems like an accurately priced total itself, but the +104 odds are a little bit off. And off meaning mispriced, which makes it a good bet. So this is going to be the first one that I'm going to lock in here, this George Kittle receiving yardage under. The next one is the player passing yards over for Geno Smith. It's +110 at FanDuel. DraftKings basically has it as a 50-50 outcome. The Nova gods price this at about +108.5 essentially. And then if you look at where other sports books price it, so you want to go to player passing yards, we're getting Geno Smith, we're getting him to go over 249.5 at +110 odds. So as you can see, some sports books haven't priced over that at 250.5, which is a good sign. Some have it priced a little bit below that. So the fact that we are getting it for plus money, the +110, is why this is positive EV. It's a play that DraftKings thinks is basically a 50-50 outcome that we're getting for +110, so even higher than the +104 from before. And then lastly, and that's actually going to be it. Those are going to be my two player props for today. George Kittle under, Geno Smith over, and that's it. So if you're tailing these, comment and let me know. Other than that, enjoy the game, enjoy the Thursday night football game, and have a good one.